perceives Mordor, the place where we know he went to.
That is the tutorial now, isn't it?
Yes, it's a tutorial. Besides learning our skills and introducing the player to the basic gameplay, we also get the first glimpses of a dangerous and dark place. As you know, Sauron called all the foul beings certain stage to Mordor when he revealed himself, and Gollum, searching for the ring, suddenly changed his direction and went also south. Here we can see Gollum climbing. He's very strong.
Yeah, he's like really good climber, and I
Yes.
love the view there. You know, these little huts there from the orcs, I guess. So
Yes, that's an orc camp. We know that the mountains surrounding Mordor are protected, that there are some guards. There are not a lot of ways you can enter, or you can actually go along. Yeah, here are birds. Animals play a very important role in Tolkien's writing. And whatever is Gollum doing there, you'll find out later.
also the footage is not consecutive, so there are cuts in between the footage. So if there's like other stuff coming, that's always like a new part of the gameplay to show.
It's more like a teaser footage. That's a beetle. It's a beetle. You can see Gollum sort of hunting for it. He's also mesmerized by it. He has this, as you said, there's two parts of him. The one that still reconnects to nature. We know that once he left the Misty Mountains, he also got stronger and, so to say, back to life. And you can actually choose how he behaves, which side of him gets the stronger development. And that's quite important for the story. You literally decide who's going to live and who's going to die. And it's also going to bring you into troubles.
Yeah, and that's one of the parts where Gollum needs to be very stealthily to not get caught.
Fans will maybe recognize a little bit of this part. Not this part exactly, but later on. You all have heard of the Cirith Ungol, the spider cleft. And yes, you have to be careful, you have to sneak around. You can sometimes also fight opponents, but they, as we know from the Misty Mountains, he sometimes throttled an orc, but small ones and not heavy soldiers, stuff like that. Yeah. Here you get a little bit impression of the style that we chose to represent Mordor. Of course, it's cruel and there are a lot of sharp edges.
I love the design. I really love it.
Yeah, I also love it. We have a very, very good artist, a good art department. With a hell of a work. Yeah. Some spider webs.
Yeah, I wonder what these webs are. I wonder where these webs come from. Huh? Who is doing this kind of... another orc patrol?
Yeah, that's the patrol. We are following them because we are afraid that they might reveal something. Gollum is constantly, so to say, on the run. Nobody really loves him. No. He needs to love himself, but he also, the Smeagol side, tries to find friends. And he finds friends, depending on your choices. Good and strong friends to help him out, because he can never do it alone. He's too small. But just as Bilbo in The Hobbit and Frodo in The Lord of the Rings, he's a small creature, ancestor of the hobbits. And that's good, because he can hide, like here, he can sneak around. Nobody is really interested in him. And that gives us the possibility to show things. And Gollum can enter almost every place. I mean, he's one of those creatures that saw the Dark Lord and still lives.
So what's happening now? So he's like making it dark for the orc so he can't see, and then...
Yes. Yes, that's a trick. He can throw things, he can So you saw he can climb, he can even swim. He's a good waterman. And we just knocked out a candle, or knocked out some light.
Oops, who's that?
Yeah, who might that be? Yes, we know of his fascination with...
Oh,
with
another famous character right there.
Yes, actually a pretty... if you think about it, these fell beasts, which were mentioned in The Lord of the Rings, must have grown before. Sauron must have raised them. We decided to show them inside of Mordor, but not outside, because he's sort of... He's keeping them back for his war, but Gollum being there, yeah, he makes another bad experience.
Yeah, getting captured again.
Yes. So we already know he will enter Barad-dûr, and too sad. That's There's a sort of frame story, a little story to when Gandalf actually questions him. We know that from The Lord of the Rings, that he actually did. He mentions to Frodo, and he also mentioned that it was very difficult to get anything out of Gollum, so that gives us some freedom to interpret this.
Yeah,
to leave
that's cool.
The player, the
I love
the
how
choice.
you all do all these little nuances.
Yeah.
And now, since you were talking about looking for stuff, so this is inside Mordor, right?
This is inside Barad-dûr even. As you can see, Gollum now is not hunted anymore. He's a prisoner. But being very clever and slimy and knowledgeable, he also knows how to manipulate people. And he very soon gets the hang of it. Yeah. Again, depending on how you play him. And we get to see one of the more like central rooms and chambers of the more powerful people.
Yes.
Yes.
So it looks like I love how you made Barad-dûr rather cultivated, I must say.
It's quite a huge place, and you must also think, or you have to realize that Sauron cannot just like do it all alone. He needs a clockwork to do his orders, and cultists and people who really... Yeah, that's a very interesting picture.
I love that.
If you understand what this is about. Yeah, it has something to do with one of the central characters in Barad-dûr, which is a sort of spy master. Of course, Sauron needs to gather information. We know that he has some birds on his side, and one of these spy masters is called the Candle Man, for reasons you can imagine or you can think of yourself. Of course, he's torturing people, and he's trying to
he needs the candle to bring some light into the situation, of
course. This is a very dark part of Sauron. Sauron also has a light. He's also talking about the light. Maybe from Moria, this the flame of Udun, Gandalf calls the Balrog. And we know that Morgoth also looked for light and has a sort of his own light, but it's not a very nice light. It's more like a very
I like the map. I think I remember where this is.
Yeah, Gollum sometimes gets these little glimpses of what people do, and we inserted the map here in the big map room because we thought, from time to time, maybe the spy master also wants to have a look at where are the troops, where we have to stand.
I love this war room look it has. So I like that. And we just missed the this nice artwork of Barad-dûr, the tower with the eye. So there's like lots of stuff in the game like that. So
of course we had to make some compromises. Sometimes you just saw these vertical lines, white vertical lines. They are usually a little bit a hint for the player where he can climb, so we inserted a few. We worked with the lighting and so on to help the player looking for the right places. And Gollum also has a special skill. We call this a Gollum sense. So if you can activate that, you can also... It helps you finding your way around.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, and these dark corners, again, it's not like final quality, but you can hide.
Okay, that's another jump to another scene. Gollum actually gets to hatch his own little bird.
Yeah.
And it's very nice. Again, although he's in Barad-dûr and he needs his Gollum side, Smeagol also is important. And in creating or hatching and protecting this little being, this side of him actually is reactivated. And this bird plays a very important role. So again, it's important how you actually deal with it. And here we can see the Spy Master, the Candleman, talking about his past. Of course, he's, as we know, that many men also joined the Dark Lord, even some of the Numenors, and so he is sort of thinking about his past, his people, where he came
it's
from.
amazing. I love that. I love the scene.
Again, as Gollum, you get to know a lot, and you can again use that for your advantage if you're clever.
Yeah. Oh, interesting.
The Candleman also has a daughter. I don't know whether we'll see it.
Let's see.
I don't know whether she comes in here, but she's a very strong believer in Sauron. Oh. Yes.
I love you did that.
See at whom he will shoot. You probably know this king. Yeah. And there's a famous story about the kings of Gondor, and yes. And his place on his past and his problems. He's not such a strong believer as his daughter. But again, Gollum can use that.
Yeah, it's great that it's not like simple characters all the way.
You don't have to be a hardcore fan to play this, to know this. It will be all explained and
yeah. But now to some more nicer realms.
Yes, that's another central part of Gollum's journey, Gollum's quest.
Very beautiful as well.
The halls of the Elven King, the Elven Kingdom, we call it, in Mirkwood. As we know that they should have kept him. And we know
the story
from the from the Council
and
of
we
Elrond.
show how it's happening.
Yes, we know from the Council of Elrond that he actually entered, that they actually watched him, and that he sort of escaped. But we made a quite interesting story out of it. It's just not all to it, because of course you also wonder how on earth did he manage. And you can already see that the elves, after some time, at the beginning, they are quite hostile and sometimes also just talk in.
Yeah, he has again like only enemies against him, right?
Yes, and but after a while they try to make him more comfortable and leave him a bit more space. And Gollum, of course, uses that opportunity.
So we
we can also collect food because we need something, especially fish, to regain our vitality.
Yeah, the good fish.
We can get hurt. We can get hurt. We can also die in the game. So then we have some spots where you can go back to, some saving spots. Yeah, be careful of those lamps. That's not such a good idea.
Yeah, I was lucky.
And the elves have
the other way. So when I played it, it's like, okay, just hit him there, and like find my way around it. So
you could have hit this
container there,
thingy,
right?
That was
but it works that way too. So
yes, there are many ways. You can also sneak. You can hide. You can climb. You can choose your ways. You should also listen carefully to what people say. So if you hide a bit behind those boxes and just
especially
listen to
here,
her.
I like how she's like preparations for the party and for the great feast. And so there I try to like maybe hit her too, but then I try to let's be a little bit more bold.
You saw this shadowy bit that's a place where you can hide very well.
Yeah. So I got her attention there, but I was quick enough to go away and was lucky there as well. So no.
Yeah, actually you can't really kill elves because they very soon spot you. So you have to be more careful, especially if you're doing things you're not supposed to do, like now.
So you're a little bit further in the level, you know, like you have several possibilities there, like go more the stealth route, or there's another route where you can do more parkour, like wall runs and stuff like that. So, but here I chose to go rather stealthy way, a little bit like going around or waiting till they look the other way.
Yes, there are some guards here. They actually are not necessarily looking for Gollum, but as you know, the Elven King has a very well-defended castle or caves realm, and for his people, and of course he has very capable soldiers and fighters. But as the elves love it, they usually prepare a feast or party or whatever. So they're not that, as you can see, they're also not that attentive or dangerous.
Yeah, so taking care of Gollum. So this is now like a part where there's a little bit more jumping, like for a short time now.
Yeah, more like a parkour area. We can see
really steep and like deep below.
Yeah, Gollum of course tries to find a way out. Is not so easy as he thought. And you have this is quite far in the game, so you already know how to do all those climbing.
And this is the Elven Palace, the Thranduil's Palace from outside.
Yeah. Yes, very nice design. Of course, it's quite big. Yeah. So again, Gollum is very strong, very tough. He tries to get past it. Yes, and it's very beautiful. Also, sometimes you get these spots where you can look far out into the surrounding. We can see famous and sites of Middle Earth, of course, in our interpretation. But yeah, from time to time we get also these high spots where we can, of course, if we're doing the parkour thing, we need that to, especially if we have some enemies around, to know where we should be going.
And all of a sudden, up there is a fish. And he gets caught. Again.
Yes. Gollum really has a hard time. And you as a player have to think quite fast. But you get hints. Yeah. Here you got caught again. These elves will just bring you straight back.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, I love what's happening here. Because we meet someone from before.
Yes. As I already said, this is the bird, a bit grown, as you can see. Of course, Soren uses dark magic and terrible practices to make things to grow faster and stuff like that. But that particular bird is quite